take your fears, your insecurities, your worries, you roll them all up into a ball, you turn those son bitches sideways and stick them straight up, then candy out!
Pick your goal and stick fucking to it. You wishy-washy motherfuckers. I can't fucking stand you.
I wanted to make sure that out of the 24 hours of the day, that I don't waste one single hour. Those hours were too precious. And so there I just want to tell people, don't give me this thing, I have a difficult time with the time and I don't have time for this and I don't have that. You have time. You make the time.
And now, welcome to the Be Informed, Live Fit podcast, sponsored by FitnessInformant.com.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome inside the Be Informed, Live Fit podcast. I am your host, Fitness Informant, CEO Ryan Buckeye, back here live at the FIHQ after an amazing trip to Chicago, Illinois. So today on the podcast, you guys are going to hear both Dan and Ryan, the head honchos, over at our 2019 brand of the year, Ghost. We took some time out of our schedule to go down to Chicago, hang out with the crew at Ghost at their HQ, got to test out a bunch of cool new products that are currently unreleased. We got to try some current products that are going through some reformulations and some current products that we had not tried yet before. So it was nice to be able to actually personally hand deliver the championship title that we had made, custom made for the 2019 brand of the year award winner, and Ghost earned it back in 2019. So if you guys want to see what that was like, you can head over to the Ghost YouTube channel on Building the Brand. They have the episode up. It features your entire FI team in Chicago, us actually handing off the title to the crew, and then those guys kind of just playing around with the title in the HQ. So I definitely urge you guys to check that out. It shows a side of the FI team, too, that you don't always see, although those of you who follow us on IG see it probably quite regularly. But it was awesome to sit down with Dan and Ryan. So Dan and Ryan don't necessarily do podcasts very often. They don't really get into the nitty-gritty of the space. They kind of keep into their own, concern themselves with what other people are doing traditionally. Now, that's not to say that they don't have opinions. That's not to say that they don't have something to say. So we gave them a platform and an opportunity to say something. So us at FI, Dan, Ryan, some drinks of choice around a conference room in Chicago, Illinois. We got to ask those guys some pretty good questions. And for those of you who don't necessarily know the history of Ghost, you get to dive into that a little bit. You guys get to maybe understand a little bit more about Dan and Ryan, what's important to them, and what's important to them as they continue to innovate within the space of sports nutrition and dietary supplements, and as they expand outside this space. I think they dropped some hints in terms of things that they're looking to do here in 2020. So that's some big stuff there. So great time. I will be heading back to Chicago, Illinois, May 9th. I decided that my personal journey to center stage for my first bodybuilding show. We've heard courses this week. We were going to do Sioux Falls, South Dakota, but now found out that the same day there is an NPC National Qualifier. The Illinois State Championships in Chicago gives me an opportunity to get back down to Chicago, can hang out with the crew from Ghost. But most importantly, it allows me to get my post-show meal at Pequod's or Lou Malnati's. Here it is. This is the podcast with Dan and Ryan. We hope you guys enjoy it. Hit that subscribe button on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube if you're watching it as well. Write us a review. Helps out the algorithm so that way more people can find this podcast. Next week on the podcast, we're going to have Regan Grimes. You guys and girls who follow bodybuilding know who he is. He's one of the brightest up-and-coming stars in the sport. But before we get to next week, let's get to this week and Ghost, basically our version of building the brand for Ghost here on the Be Informed Live Fit podcast.
The new Gatorade is finally here, and I want to talk about the main difference between Gatorade and the old Unicorn formula. Now, the huge difference is all in the essential amino acids. Now, there are a total of 9 essential amino acids. BCAAs are 3 of the 9, and then there's the other 6. Now, in our old Unicorn formula, we had 1,250 milligrams of the other 6 EAAs. Now we have a grand total of 4,000 milligrams of essential amino acids. Now, you're probably thinking, what exactly does that mean? Now, EAAs are actually more efficient at providing the energy necessary for muscles to grow pre, intra, and post-workout. And in times of dieting or any time that you're just under physical stress, like when you're training, essential amino acids are actually better at creating an anabolic environment and maintaining a high state of muscle protein synthesis.
Close that damn door. Let's hit these people with some knowledge. Slap everybody in the ass with some knowledge on Raise Energy. Fact number 1, we have nootropics added to ours. Alpha GPC and tyrosine. These are active ingredients that actually pass the blood-brain barrier and calls for efficient focus. Next is caffeine. We're We're the only energy drink company that uses 2 different forms of caffeine. Caffeine citrate to hit you fast, and caffeine anhydrous to hit you slow. Scotty P? Oh, you dropped it. What don't we want? We don't want wrinkles. Sugar causes wrinkles, and that's what we do not want. We have 0 sugar in our Raise Energy. We also have the lowest count of sodium out of all the energy drinks on the market. Make sure you stop and pick up your Raise Energy and demand more.
This is your personal invitation to the Redcon One Alpha Team, our new exclusive subscription program. Enjoy members-only access to the Alpha Team apparel collection, priority customer service privileges, early shopping on major deals, exclusive flavor selections, and a whole lot more. This is your opportunity to become a Redcon One VIP. There's limited spots available, so go to redcon1.com and sign up today.
Fits nicely.
Dude, that's freaking sick! Let's go!
No more confetti cannon.
The Cinco de Drinko. Ricky, do you know what this is?
Look at this. Fast forward 2 weeks and we'll be sitting here.
Away we go, and I hope that you know that one day we will all be one, holding on to broken hearts.
45. First off, let's do the unofficial.
Yeah,
unofficial
cheers.
official to the 2019 brand.
Yeah, hey, thank you for all the support, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Awards are always special.
That's all right. Wait, let me ask you about that. We'll start with that.
The belt is next level.
The belt is next level, but you two aren't necessarily an awards type of duo. Like, you're not seeking the best of or seeking out best ever. You've never been that way, have you?
No, I mean, I don't think that there is a best. We're just in constant pursuit of it.
Sure.
Right? And I think, like, you've seen over the years, not to get sentimental, but 2020, new decade, right? And if you compare where the industry was in 2010 to 2020, it's an incredibly different place, right? 2010 was still proprietary blends. It was the micro scoop, micro dosing. There was a lot of pro hormones. There was a lot of, still faux science and huge claims. Look at 2020. I mean, full disclosure, authentic flavors, transparency. And I think we even had a little role in that, awards or not, is super humbling and pretty cool, especially for two guys that started really just as fans in the space. So, but that being said, I mean, obviously the awards along the way feel nice. There's a lot of ups and downs, in starting a business. Doing just like really the two of us just figuring this thing out as we kind of go. Like the business and the building a team and just the crap that happens standpoint. I mean, obviously we've been well versed in the world of supplements and stuff, but the words positive reinforcement is always good. But as I say to you a lot, right? We're at halftime. Like call me after the game.
Yeah. All right, tell me about this relationship between you two, this bromance, because two different companies. You were on the spokesperson side, the pretty face side, right? Like you were behind the scenes and that kind of side thing. So how did this?
You just said I wasn't pretty.
Come together. I mean, you don't got Ryan's face, man.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think we're both in marketing, right? And the two of us were working for our respective brands. We were actually introduced through a mutual friend of ours, Craig Capurso.
Okay. Shout out Craig.
Shout out to Craig.
Great fucking hair.
We got a workout in, and just hit it off, man. No, but we were.
What was it about Dan?
So we were in the same, I feel like the same place in life.
Okay.
Same place, career-wise. I feel like we had kind of, me starting out as an aspiring fitness athlete, coming from, Westchester, Pennsylvania, made my way up the ranks, and now I was, the face of fitness for BSN, right? Dan, similar story, kind of on the back end side of Cellucor. Kind of started as a sales guy, made his way up to heading marketing for them.
Right.
And we both kind of felt like we were at the same kind of place in our life where shit was good. We were making good money. We were, I think, both relatively happy with what we were doing. But there was still a lot of shit that a lot of boxes we wanted to check. And we shared a lot of similar interests. We used to go out all the time. We both lived in New York City.
Not emphasis on used to, by the way. You guys can still go.
That's true. We kind of built a brand.
That's like a separate podcast, but it definitely hurts more than it used to.
Yeah, that's true.
It definitely does.
But I think we were at a similar place in life. We were obviously in the same city, and we kind of decided to just give this a go. But it's been the brand was, not many people know this, the brand was conceived in a nightclub.
It doesn't shock me. Hoxton, which city is that?
Hoxton.
Oh, Vegas.
Yeah,
Las Vegas.
Where else would it be?
Correct.
Yeah.
September of 2012.
Okay.
Olympia Saturday night, we used to unplug from our respective companies and just throw a party as Dan and Ryan, right? It wasn't like Cellucor was a BSN party, it was just Dan and Ryan. And it was one of those nights where, table was great, the crowd, we had a huge turnout, all of our, people from all those companies, all of our, a lot of the big, who's who at the time too, kind of all showed up to hang, and our, my team was there, and it was just everything was clicking, firing. And one thing we noticed was, especially a lot of the big influencers at the time, or athletes at the time, right, they were all taking pictures while hiding their drinks. It wasn't okay that they were out at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., whatever. Or drinking, right? It wasn't okay, because they had to project this image of perfection.
Yeah.
And it was all bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? And we kind of just were dude, it would be so much more relatable if you just told the truth. You're fit and healthy, you work out, you got an aspirational, physique or inspiring story, but why not just share the whole thing? You're not eating chicken breast right now at 3 a.m, right? You're enjoying the night with your friends. It's okay. And it's pretty amazing or shocking that at the time, our marketing strategy or the idea we had for brand was to not have one. It was why don't we just tell the truth? Just tell it like it is. People are working out to look good at or feel good at Wet Republic on Sunday, to go to a wedding, to simply kick ass at hockey on Monday night. There's a million different reasons. It doesn't have to be the bodybuilder. It doesn't have to be the eat this way, sleep this way, train this way, supplement this way. It can just be like life, right? Lifestyle. Before that became a thing, that was, and you know, to us, lifestyle just means telling the truth. There was never a master plan. It was like, dude, it would be cool if you know, to base a brand based on just like, you know, work hard, play hard, you know, whatever that means to you, right? Be the best, feel the best, you know, your best, like, whatever that means to you. And that's kind of where it started.
It's interesting, you mentioned the word lifestyle. Garrett and I have talked about this a lot too. Like, we don't think that Ghost is the first lifestyle brand. I mean, you look at like Animal, they had a niche that was a lifestyle for certain people, right? But you guys somehow, because name was in your domain name or whatever it might be, people just like, you created this lifestyle movement that now people are trying to grab onto what they can.
Look, I said this in a podcast that we did in Sydney in like 2016, 2017 with Massive Joe. So like, you can't go lifestyle, right? It has to be in your DNA. It's just simply it's who you are. I mean, to the point where the fact that we are kind of known as Ghost Lifestyle was really a fucking accident. Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean, Ghost Lifestyle was simply one of the ideas on the whiteboard of available domain names and IG handles. We really wanted it to match across the board. Yeah. And like Ghost.com is, I think, like an antivirus, like Symantec or whatever, right? And to get just at Ghost at Instagram or Twitter, you know, would be incredible. That was out. Like, We Are Ghost was taken on one platform but available on the others, and like, so we just landed on Ghost Lifestyle. That's the point, though. There's never a master plan. There's never like, we're gonna go to market and say these things or do these things. It was like, we're just telling it like it is. We're just being real. We're being transparent, from the labels to the people behind it, to the story behind it, to the reasons behind it, to the manufacturing, to the concepts, the development. We're just going to be transparent, and if we share the whole thing, people are going to buy into it. Why? Because that's what we've been doing our entire life.
Yeah,
that's simple.
Who's responsible for the brand experience, the consumer experience on this? And you guys come together. I mean, literally everything. You look at like the labels, the textures. You open this thing up. The seal has the logos.
Yeah, it's the same answer. Unfortunately, like, there's no formula.
But no,
the two of us really do all this stuff based on our personal preferences. You know, I mean, we like I don't think we're special. We work hard, but I don't think we're the smartest guys in the room. I don't think we're special. We're simply creating stuff that we like, stuff that we want to take. Right. We say, and this sounds kind of cheesy, but we say like we're building the brand that we always wish existed. Mm-hmm. Like, and that comes down to the products that we deliver. It comes down to the way that we interact with our fans. Like, you know, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Twitter, whether it's doing Q&A, whether it's doing the podcast like this. Like, I wish the companies that we used to just take or purchase, or even the companies we still purchase, whether it's Nike or whatever, like, it'd be really cool to have that type of all-access approach to those brands. So we're going to go and deliver that, you know, ourselves with our company. That's just kind of, again, there's no big formula, there's no master plan. We're really just being authentic and transparent in everything we do.
What's your biggest frustrations with the industry today in 2020?
The lack of that.
Yeah.
Because quite honestly, like, I was a part of it for a very long time.
Right.
Which is the coolest part, I think, about, you know, the story about the nightclub and the brand kind of being conceived in that environment, because I was very much still in a position of, I can't do this. Mm-hmm. And when the light bulb went off, it was kind of like, why? Everybody here, you know, you've got like your biggest names in fitness. Right. All kind of hanging out.
You had it in your contract, you can't drink.
Yeah, it was like, you can't
like
share
public.
I'm like, how fucked up is this? Because everybody out there does this. Yeah. And to be real, I grew up looking at the magazines saying, I want to be that dude. But how can he live like this all the time? Yeah. Like, I'm like, I want to go to the beach. I want to hang out with my friends. Like, how did he do this since he was 16?
It's not rocket science.
The fact of the matter is, it's not the truth, right? And I kind of felt like, you know, I was a little bit misleading in myself and like the whole industry as a whole. So I think even to where we've come today, like, transparency is who we are, and the lack of that in the industry, it's changed a lot since we launched Ghost, but it could still come a long way.
Yeah. Same frustration, different frustration.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I think we can make one argument today that, you know, customers have become more savvy. There's more information out there, fully transparent, you know, labels. But we can also make the argument that there's more newbies and less savvy customers because the industry is broadened. I think there's more people buying protein or pre-workout than ever. So you've got two pretty big extremes. And I think because of that, and when you add in just the amount of noise, right, especially in the U.S., there's no barriers to entry, right? You can, I mean, my God, I mean, maybe my biggest frustration is the ads that get targeted for on Instagram that say like, start your own supplement brand for $39 a month. But that stuff is bad for the industry, right? Because, you know, this is an industry that has desperately searched for good headlines for a long time. We've worked our ass off to legitimize this thing with big brands like Mondelez or Sonic and Welch's and Warheads. Like, I mean, we never had to sell the idea of Ghost. We had to sell the industry.
Yeah, which is tough.
And so my frustration is that, you know, again, this big disparity between savvy and non-savvy customers, the lack of various entries in the industry, it still is a little bit of the Wild West, like anybody can play. And sometimes that noise can overshadow all the good things that are happening.
Yep.
You know?
Dude, it's tough in 2020. Imagine how hard it was 4 years ago.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's crazy, like, first of all, I think it's crazy. You know, the idea in itself, we joke all the time, we think it's pretty fucking obvious. But actually getting, you know, some of the, arguably the biggest brands in the world to buy into not just us, but this industry, it's pretty cool. That's arguably one of our cooler accomplishments. And it's gotten no easier in 2020.
Yeah.
So,
what's interesting, so Gerhard, you told a story earlier, I think you've told Ryan this before, like he was kind of your inspiration in terms of fitness when he was back
before BSN,
right? Which is,
that UB Count, that was my story.
It's crazy, right? Like now he's here with us and that's the story, but you were a bodybuilder. Everybody was a bodybuilder. BSN went from, you mentioned this, went from Ronnie.
Well, there was no other option.
Yeah, but you guys don't have bodybuilders, you have, and part of that is like you've done a lot for just the everyday person and women and all these different, like why did you guys go a different route with Christian?
Because that's who's actually taking this product.
Sure.
Dude, the most fun that I had, so I asked everybody this question, but like, do you remember the first time you ever took pre-workout?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the product?
My pre-workout, my first one was No Exploit.
Okay. What was the flavor?
What was that?
Do you remember the flavor?
Fruit punch.
That's what I'm saying.
It's still on my kitchen ceiling. I shook it and it exploded.
Yeah. Dude, mine was VPX shotgun, black cherry, sitting in my car outside the gym because I didn't want my boys to know I was taking anything. Right? I like that fun, that excitement, right? Or even just like going to the gym and like having like some samples that I was able to get from like the local GNC or vitamin shop and be like let's try this stuff, right? That excitement like is something that the industry was missing, I think, previous to Ghost for a couple of years that got born, and we wanted to bring that back, you know, and that was really like I think what gets us out of bed is to bring that excitement, that authenticity back. And when you think about like, well, why did we go with the everyday people, like, you know, everyday, guys and girls out there that are just taking products or like working out for whatever, like I said, whether it's Wet Republic or a wedding or sports or the extreme of competing or whatever it is, because I mean that was us. That was everybody we knew. That was our friends.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing. The People's brand is like, again, cheesy, but if we've tried to do that in the best way, saying like, dude, this is what we want, or we were on the other side, and we're just trying to build that.
Yeah. I would argue that those bodybuilders or like your hardcore fitness enthusiasts they resonate just the same with, you know, I was one of them.
Yeah.
And I was never.
You still are. Look at you.
But I was okay. Not to the level that I was before, but like, even so, I was still going out and having a good time and like enjoying the other aspects of my life. Sure, there was a period of time where I might have like photo shoot or a competition or stuff that I like dialed it in. But if you look at my year as a whole, like I spent a lot of time still enjoying the rest of what life has to offer.
Right.
So I would argue most of even the hardcore enthusiasts, as much as they don't share it, do it. Which is our whole, it doesn't have to be, sure, we cater to the 99%, but that 1% still appeal to Ghost, right? I don't think it's speaking to somebody else.
Let's talk about women for a second, and I'm going to use Danielle's story. So when she first got into fitness, it was your Beachbody, your Advocate, your Herbalife, because there was no brand that spoke to her.
Sure.
Right? You mentioned the breakdown in terms of your demographic earlier on in terms of who buys those. 70-30. That 30% is a pretty impressive number, I think, from my standpoint. Like, this industry,
I think our previous brands are more in the 85 to 90%.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bro industry, right?
As we've grown, it's become more like unisex too.
But you guys have a brand that is a very unisex brand. I remember the first time meeting you too, you had like a Ghost Shaker cup, and it's like, okay, you didn't see women wear stuff or have apparel. It's changing, especially for you guys and brands like Alani Nu and whatever. What do we do more to speak to women or to help women in this space, help them understand what we're doing, what these products are, and what Ghost is, so that way maybe it can resonate with them?
I mean, I think, a couple of things that we've done, right? I mean, the transparent labels is big. We're giving people more information. Information's power. They can, you can go and research whether it's an ingredient or a product, it's just all the information's out there, right? We don't make the big claims that other brands like 500% more muscle mass, and we don't have the big bodybuilders and veins on veins marketing the faux science of like 10 years ago. I think that kind of, again, broadens your appeal. Flavors and brands that resonate with people, whether it's Chips Ahoy, Sour Patch Kids, Welch's, Warheads. I mean, again, it's familiarity, right? Familiarity is nostalgia. Nostalgia is a powerful emotion, and it's kind of like, I was like, I know that brand. If they trust Ghost, maybe I can trust Ghost.
Sure.
That's kind of been our whole concept, right? Like, don't take my word for how that product tastes. Like, don't take the sales associate at GNC. Don't even listen to Christian Guzman, right? Listen to the fact that Chips Ahoy is allowing us to put their logo on the label. This thing they've approved it, and they don't know what protein tastes like. Warheads does not know what creatine hydrochloride typically tastes like. When they are approving Ghost Size Warheads watermelon, they are approving it saying, this tastes like Warheads. They don't know if the underlying ingredients are really hard to flavor.
Right.
So when you kind of build this like kind of trust of transparency in these legitimate brands, I think it appeals to a lot of people, inclusive of women who maybe in this industry have been kind of marginalized for a long time.
Right. Do you think that's changing?
We're trying to change it. I think there are definitely brands, trying to do kind of the right thing. Like, we talked a little earlier about the pink tax, right? The classic pink it and shrink it, like put it in a pink or pastel bottle, divide the doses in half, add $10 to the price, and it's like, boom, now it's a women's product or brand. Like, I think there are brands trying to kind of change that. We're coming out with some products this year that we partnered with all of our like kind of Ghost League ladies on. We're excited for. So I think it's a combination of brands trying to do the right thing and also just, again, information being out there that's changing.
Just over-engineering like the way they speak to women.
Right.
Women don't need to be spoken to any differently than men.
Yeah.
Is Nike a women's brand?
No.
Is even Lululemon a women's brand? But no, they're just strong brands that happen to make products.
I think Lulu in the beginning was more of a women's brand, but they, I think, recognized what the rest of
Maybe because they
but did they ever go out and say this is a women's brand? Right? That's the point.
Right.
And it kind of goes back to the lifestyle conversation, goes back to all of it. We've never tried to pigeonhole ourselves as any one thing.
Sure.
Broad appeal means, like I said, formulate for the 1%, build a brand, store the message flavors for the 99%. Don't say you're the women's brand or the hardcore brand or this. Just build a great brand that has a lot of reasons that people might appreciate.
Right.
And some people might not appreciate all of them. Most people don't.
Yeah.
Some people might look at the YouTube and be like, oh, that's cheesy, it's stupid, right? Pop punk, like that, right? Fine, I respect your opinion. But some people might look at like the formula and be like, oh man, where's the DMAA, bro? Okay, well look, that's not going to be Ghost. We're not going to be the 500 milligrams caffeine company. Sorry, we're not, right? Some people might come to us for the flavors, or they might come to us because they're a big fan of Max or Christian or Rob. We've tried to kind of build in like a lot of reasons people would appreciate the brand, whether boy, girl, everything in between, CrossFit, powerlifter, bodybuilder, the guy trying to squeeze in a workout between flying 250,000 miles a year, like
speaking of myself, getting shocker. So in this industry, it's been like either you're a formula brand, a product brand, or you are a marketing brand. You guys have been able to assimilate the two together.
It's 2020. If you can't deliver it all on all fronts, like
dude, we just don't put ourselves in fucking buckets. I don't know why everybody classifies their brand as X, Y, or Z.
Right.
It's like we're trying to build a great brand.
But I'm saying you guys have such a strong brand. You could, if you wanted to, it's not in your DNA. Say you wire down the formulas and make more margin and take more money out of the company. You choose not to do that. In fact, you put more money into the products than most people do. And you put money into marketing, and I mean, this is marketing. You can mention
you say we could.
You could, and you
but how? Like what we did from day one was say we've got all of this over here,
right.
All the fun stuff, all the marketing, all the brand, all the cool shit.
Yeah.
But we're gonna back it up and spin the bottle over.
Right, you do that. But I'm saying your consumer today.
But I don't know if day one you're able to launch with all that and not be able to.
Sure.
back it up.
But now you could potentially, because do people buy Ghost today because of the formulas, or are they buying it because it's a cool fucking brand?
I mean, to go back to what we were just talking about, I mean, it depends who's buying.
Sure.
There's definitely people who are buying because they're a huge fan of Alley, right?
Yeah.
There's definitely people buying for that, right? But there's also people buying just because, oh man, it's Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, I'm buying
Chips
and
Ahoy.
then there's also people who are like, dude, Ghost Pump is, rated one of the best pump products in the industry. It's got, 2.5 grams of arginine nitrate, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All those, maybe the first two buckets, I have no idea what the heck arginine nitrate even is.
No, sure.
And that's fine, right? I mean, again, we've tried to kind of build in something to attack on all fronts. And look, it's a combination of again, we're big, formula guys, and we care about the ingredients, right? But at the same time, we also care about the aesthetic. Why do we have to choose?
Yeah.
It's almost like why, for a long time in this industry, it's almost like, man, if your product looks good, it has to be shit, right? Or if the product, if the product looks like ass, the formula must be, or if it tastes bad, then the formula must be great. But again, it's 2020. I mean, haven't we, can we challenge ourselves and challenge our competitors, the peers in the industry, to say, hey, deliver on all fronts?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, again, we don't think we're really anything special. We don't think we're the smartest guys in the room. We work our ass off, and I'll say, I think we have a good eye for design, but that's all this is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're taking great formulas with great design, and we've worked really hard on getting some cool collabs on the flavors. We went to battle with our friends, whether it's Christian and Max, Rob. I mean, it's a really organic story that we've tried to share with the world from day one.
It also comes down to where your goals lie.
Sure.
And full transparency, we never had a conversation when we were starting this about dollars and cents and what we could ultimately make from this. That wasn't why we started the brand. It came from, there's an opportunity to do something cool because we recognize there's a large group of people that aren't being spoken to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool shit we can do from a formula standpoint, from a flavor standpoint that isn't being done right now. Let's create a brand that can do that. And then let's see where we can take it. As far as goals of, I'd love to make a sneaker with Nike, or I'd love to create a healthy alcoholic beverage.
Or dude, I'd love to make a product with Sour Patch Kids and Chips Ahoy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unreal that we've been able to accomplish that. Cool.
Right.
Yeah, we never.
That's the coolest part is the thing that motivates you is you wake up on Monday, you get to work with a bunch of people that are fired up to kind of build this with you, which is it's a lot of fun.
Well, it's cool.
We're having fun, which is
here all day, and you had people here till 7 o'clock at night because they want to be.
Yeah.
What's Stan's biggest weakness?
I would say it's, honestly, I would say probably his obliques.
Not even just straight up because that's one thing when you have partners and you guys took a risk. I mean, even though you're friends and you guys decided to go into business together, you guys know going into business together with friends and changes.
That does.
This could have gone bad
for sure, and a lot of times it does.
It's gone bad a lot of times.
Yeah.
Right? But I would say the coolest part about us is that we complement each other in that way. I would say as a unit, we have no weaknesses, which is the coolest part about this. And we've recognized, we didn't know that day one.
Yeah.
Right? We went into this hey, we're aligned here, we'll figure the rest out. And we have. And we've had our ups and downs. We've had our fair share of arguments. We've had our fair share of struggles, many of which, we've shared off the camera today.
Yeah.
It hasn't been an easy path as much as people would have loved to believe it has, but it's worked. And like I said, I think as a unit, we make a great team, and this is not going to be our last little partnership together.
Dude, the 10-year Ghost anniversary tell-all video in 2020.
It's going to be pretty fucking sick.
It's going to be awesome. That's what you're not going to want to miss.
Just so you know, the weekly YouTube episode that's about roughly 10 to 15 minutes.
It's trimmed from hours of content that we were stashing away for 2026.
It's some good shit.
So 2016 is when you guys launched in June.
June 1st.
Dan's birthday.
You're not even 4 years old, guys.
My 30th birthday, we launched Ghost.
It's nuts. Yeah. I mean, you've accomplished that. I mean, you're the one of 2 brands. I'll give it to 2 brands who have done legitimate licensing deals. Been able to keep them around. You've had Noise around the brand. Loud Noise in 2018, which has been your second year. Loud Noise obviously last year with us and other media partners as well. It's got to be kind of a cool, surreal feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for Ryan, but to quote our boy Christian, right? It's really the proud but never satisfied thing. Like I know, like if I step back, I'm like, man, we've done some cool stuff, and I don't really know how we pulled it off. It's, you know, some of these partnerships and the growth and there's how many people have come out and hung out with us at these expos and just like pour their heart out with what the brand's meant to them. I mean, I don't know how we were able to achieve that, but
because let's be real,
yeah.
30 years old, you're still a kid.
But yeah, but dude, like I mean, I feel like we haven't accomplished anything. Like there's so much more that we want to do.
Right.
I'm not just saying that. I really like. I don't wake up in the morning like it's more like, dude, this is everything that we haven't done yet. This is everything that I want to do. Like pedal to the metal, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes probably cracking the whip harder than I need to or should. But I mean, we're just so motivated, like to just take this thing to the next level. I focus more on everything that we haven't done versus what we have, and maybe that's a weakness. You know, maybe that's like something I should probably stop and appreciate more of what we've accomplished, but not yet.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery, right? Is what they say. We've talked about this, and you've had brands domestically, internationally, we won't name them, that have imitated you guys in a way, or said in meetings and in boardrooms, be like, how do we be like Ghost? Or you have retailers saying, how do we get a brand like Ghost? Because you guys are obviously with GNC and several key strategic partners. Compliment / frustration for you guys?
Only a frustration when we feel like it impedes our ability to keep doing what we're doing.
Sure.
You know, and going back to, you know, specifically the hurdles that we had to overcome, whether it's convincing a brand like GNC to carry us day one, or a brand like Chips Ahoy to give us the ability to license their flavors. Like, we want to progress the industry as a whole. And when there's brands that are doing things that can impede that for everyone, that sucks.
Yeah.
Whether they look like us or not, that sucks. So that's been a frustration for us. But honestly, as a whole, like all the brands we've seen that come out that have had similarities and stuff, like, cool, we can all eat. Like, we don't care. To be real, a lot of those brands are probably going to fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, if you're not doing anything malicious, or, you know, as long as you've checked all your boxes and you're doing shit legitimately, we don't really care what you're doing. To be very honest, we usually don't watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's brought to our attention, but our eye is not on the industry. Our eye is on the Nikes and the Adidas and those brands of the world. That's where him and I aspire to be.
Yeah.
We're not really looking at, you know, our direct competition, not because we don't care, but because, you know, we have bigger aspirations.
Right.
Adding my product is going to help you get to where you want to be.
5%ers is 5% of the people in the world that are willing to do whatever it takes to reach their goals. We're talking about business, success, education, willing to do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
For the last 2 decades, we have been the best kept secret of the supplement industry. We've kept our heads down and worked. We pioneered full label transparency and full therapeutic doses because we believe that truly hard work requires truly effective tools. 2 decades is a long time to commit to one pursuit, but when you act with purpose and become centered in yourself, eventually you realize that you were born and bred for this. The things you once thought impossible, you now do every day. We don't like the easy way, it just doesn't feel right. We'll take the long, hard road over a shortcut any day. It takes longer, sure, but in the end, you know you earned it. And with the right team behind you, pushing yourself further than you've ever been would be just another afternoon doing what you love most.
I've spent most of my life chasing what's termed as unattainable. An obstacle in my path, I torment it. Any limitation trying to control my environment, I tame it. Any excuses, I transform into commitments. The haters, they're too small for me to even see. For 28 months before Cage Muscle even released, I broke myself against the will to identify, track, test, and trial the ultimate resources available in human existence to bring you something the world has never seen. Change is upon us. Don't justify your complacency. Evolve with me. Part animal, part machine. I'm Chris Gethin, and I am Cage Muscle.
If you want to be the best, you can't wait for permission. You can't wait for anyone. You have to believe in yourself. You have to push yourself to be the best. Doubt you. People will say you're crazy. People will want to see you fail. And don't believe anyone that says you can't. There will be times when you want to give up. Don't. Keep moving forward.
Tell me how difficult it was to snag this one. Chips Ahoy. It's the most impactful licensing deal in the history of our industry, by far, not even close. I mean, this supersedes everything you guys have done before. I mean, this is more of a nostalgia brand and a feel-good brand than... Not taking anything from Warheads, not taking anything from Sour Patch Kids, because Sour Patch Kids are a bodybuilder's dream. This one speaks to everybody. How hard was it to get? I think it was years in the making, right?
Before you did this, real quick, not to be politically correct or anything like that, but if you're looking at Ghost's brand and like our steps, they were arguably all very difficult.
Oh, sure.
For different reasons, right? Because like, you've got our first licensing deal with
Warheads,
right? Which was a challenge because they were the first licensing ever in sports nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard.
And what I now appreciate the most about that partnership is we signed the deal with them. They gave us an opportunity before we even launched. That's crazy.
It's super. It's
not even. I don't know what it was. Like I don't know how that even happened.
Was it the comb over?
Sex
appeal?
Yeah, right. Seriously.
Did you go on your shirt off, Ryan?
No.
Because you've been shaving since you were 16?
Like, I mean, how they...
I was shaving for that meeting.
Like, how they took a chance on, a couple of guys with a dream and, this idea for Ghost before we were even on market is something that we'll be forever grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
And, from there, Mondelez, the makers of Swedish Fish, Sour Patch Kids, Chips Ahoy, Oreo, Vanilla Wafer, Nutter Butter. They were someone that we had, I think I got the idea of licensing from like Sour Patch Kids. Like, man, I really want to do this collab with Sour Patch Kids. A lot of people were eating like Sour Patch Kids before they work out. Like a lot of the sour flavors or candy flavors at the time were kind of aspiring or wish they were Sour Patch Kids. So like this is, and we were just banging every phone, email, anything we could do. I have a really good friend of mine who we've worked with on licensing this whole time. Right about the time that we kind of left our previous jobs with this dream of starting Ghost, he kind of Jerry Maguire out of a really big like licensing agency to go start his own. So it's really kind of cool. Again, it's our organic, authentic story of coming together. And I was like, bro, like we gotta get into Mondelez, and we tried and no avail. Yeah. Right? And it was like one night in 2015, Mel and I couldn't sleep. I just got on LinkedIn and I started LinkedIn sniping. Like anybody in Mondelez in marketing or branding or licensing, I just keep sending. And I found this one woman who actually worked at a big manufacturer of like teddy bears. Yeah. Who is now in licensing at Mondelez, and I kind of wrote her this like note about how like I actually grew up with a teddy bear from her previous company and like appreciated that. And I woke up the next morning.
I appreciate it.
And I woke up the next morning and she wrote me back. And I was like, we should get on a call. And I was like, holy shit. And from there, started a couple years of highs and lows of celebrations and heartaches of emails and unanswered emails and calls and missed calls and just them not getting back to us and we celebrated that the deal was going to happen with Mondelez probably 30 times, and we thought it was going to never happen probably 50 times, right? And then finally they gave us a chance like 2.5 years in, 3 years in, after multiple meetings and products being presented and sampled and just, when it actually happened, it was really a surreal moment. Mm-hmm. And from there, the Sour Patch Kids and Swedish Fish were so well received that we kind of what about these cookie companies, right? What about Chips Ahoy with the other things in your portfolio?
No.
And initially it was like no. It was like mom buys Chips Ahoy. Yeah. Your customer doesn't buy Chips Ahoy. Your customer doesn't care for Chips Ahoy. His mom buys Chips Ahoy. It's like, all right, well, here's we sampled it. It was great flavor, but they said, oh, this is great, but no, sorry, wouldn't work. Licensing Expo of 2017 had me just check in meeting with Mondelez. 2018, sorry, it's been going on for 7 years, 2018, and they go, Dan, great news, brand new market research has just surfaced. It's not just mom that likes Chips Ahoy. I was like, oh really? That's surprising. Tell me more, right? Tell me more. And they were like, look, we're trying to resonate with it was a natural fit, and they gave us an opportunity, and boom, there you go. So 3.5 years.
Number one third-party protein in GNC.
Oh, first off, GNC took it and ran with it too. Their entire Instagram was a takeover.
That was great. We actually didn't know that was
going to happen. That was cool. And Chips Ahoy themselves, from their channels, have posted it out too. So they cross barriers in terms of that. It's one of the best tasting proteins in the world, obviously as well. So
overtook probably all of our first proteins in the space. Yeah, and the champ for a long time, GNC.
And it looks cool, which is cool. It's definitely cool. All right, so you guys, I'm going to ask you just a quick speed round question here. We're into some stuff that you guys had planned for 2020. But biggest regret in your 3.5 years on Ghost, something that maybe didn't go your way?
That's a good question.
Everybody always says we don't live have regrets.
No, my biggest regret, honestly, it's kind of a current, still a current one, and one that we've solved recently. It took us 3 years to launch Canada, and the fact that we've done all these amazing licenses and collabs that some of them are limited in North America or the US. We pride ourselves. My family's all over the world. I'm first generation, Portuguese. We spent a lot of time on the road, a lot of time out of the US. To not be able to give the same amount of excitement to all of our fans globally, when we're the guys who pride ourselves in global brand, local mindset, to not have done that as well as I want to so far, is probably a regret. And like I said, Canada, it took us 3 years to finally get launched. That's just too long. It's not acceptable. You know, so we're excited to do bigger and better things. And it was crazy. We actually done so well internationally so far, but we just want to do better.
Yeah.
I want to deliver the same for everyone who's been so freaking excited. Like you were saying about Chips Ahoy in the U.S., we want to deliver that same excitement all over the world, and we just haven't done it yet. So,
for me, I think if you look at, especially compared to some brands that maybe have, if you look at a comparable time of existence or launch time frame, like we've grown from a people standpoint much slower, which I think is one of the most positive things about us. But I also think that we probably thought we could bite off more than we could chew day one. We could do it all, right? And we were probably a 6-person company up until 18 months ago.
Sure.
Right. So I think we've grown from a people standpoint, maybe a little slower. That's changed now, and now we've kind of realized, okay, we need help here.
Yeah.
But if I did it all over again, I think I'd probably get some help quicker in some areas where maybe him and I are a little weaker. So.
All right, let's talk 2020. We know there's a greens formula coming out. You guys teased it via the Instagram channels. That's coming. What else can your fans expect in 2020? Well, the biggest thing is like what other collabs are coming?
We're gonna change the fucking world in 2020.
Change the fucking world in 2020. This bold statement.
I feel completely confident in my fucking statement. 2020 is going to be a huge year for Ghost.
Biggest year in history?
For sure. For sure, just because.
And what's funny, because of all our prior conversation, even on this podcast, you know that when we say biggest year in history, we don't even mean the dollars, because we don't care about that.
Yeah.
I think from an impact standpoint, this is going to be a year of new collabs, it's going to be a year of new formats, it's going to be a year of new categories for us. Yeah. It's going to be a year where we update one of our biggest categories. But I think that how we do some of these things this year and kind of what we, it's going to be game changing. Like I said, we've worked so hard to innovate so many different aspects of what a supplement company could be, right? What a brand in this industry could be. Well, again, whether it's packaging or collabs or the way that we do the content, the behind the scenes, the ambassadors, like we've tried. So we're not done. Like there's a couple more things and categories and areas where we really want to kind of break some molds and just do things a little differently. And we're excited for people to kind of see that.
Well, you're breaking into the gamer industry. You mentioned earlier you have some stuff going on for women. Not for women.
The next couple months, we've got Gamer, Greens, and Glow launching. Gamer we talked about going to be targeted at kind of the esports world. There's some game-changing supplements that came out in that space over the past couple of years. I have the utmost respect for them, but they don't have the authentic flavor collabs. They don't deliver the efficacy that I think they maybe wish they did, or those customers deserve. So we're going to shake things up there. On the greens front, I'm a big greens kind of purser consumer myself. So we really took the time to source every individual ingredient. Health man. To source every single ingredient in that product and deliver something that I think we're really proud of. Greens, antioxidant reds, Spectra, prebiotic, probiotic, full spectrum digestive enzyme in there. On the Glow front, skin health, detox, definitely something that our leading ladies of Ghost requested, and some some products and brands they were taking when they brought it and asked us our opinion on them or if they were good for them. We looked at it and said, hey, we can create something really cool. So bring a couple, brand ingredients out, or let's bring them into kind of the world of Ghost or kind of our more sports nutrition thing. And we're excited for that. New product. Yeah, it's going to probably be a female-heavy audience, but Ryan and I have been taking it.
Arguably one of our most anticipated products for him and I.
Yeah.
That we've launched in the last year.
Yeah.
So that, and the last question I had with was a question that Ryan is super familiar with. Are you guys staying exclusive with GNC? That's a big question a lot of people have. Like the GNC exclusivity in the States, people are clamoring for the Ghost brand to be available elsewhere.
Dude, I don't know if this has happened.
Don't you want to answer this one? You can give it to him.
I'll give it to him. I don't know if this has ever happened before, but we've seen so many posts and gotten messages from retailers, especially independent retailers, saying hey man, there's such a demand for Ghost in my store or stores that we bought it when it was on promo or something, and I'm sorry, but we gotta do it. I gotta give my customers whatever they need to be happy. So I don't know if there's a more like humble, like that's just like wow.
Right.
Again, I don't know how we've created that kind of response, and I mean, so that's something that we have to take seriously. It's something that we respect and we're humbled by, and something that we have to think long and hard about. And what I can say is this: GNC gave us an amazing opportunity from day one. No matter what Ghost decides in the future, we're going to continue to be a great part of them. They're going to be involved in whatever decision or conversation happens there. But look, we've been blown away by the support, globally, starting here at home, and we definitely appreciate that question a lot. So.
All right, gentlemen. Well, you're all out of your drinks, so I was going to toast. We need another 2020, but we do need another cocktail. So we got to wrap this up.
Wrap it up.
And we'll have to do another one because there's so much more we can talk about. We just scratched the surface. Not even scratched the surface.
Yeah, we didn't talk.
We got to talk more about this shaving your arms since you're 16.
Shaving arms. You need a pair of skinny jeans.
I need a pair of skinny jeans. I need a lot of things. Appreciate it.
The big thing I talk about is what the Fitness Informant brand of the year for Ghost is going to look like in 2020. Got a belt to beat. That belt's pretty epic. So
I know.
We're not giving that fucking thing back.
I don't know. It says 2019.
This is like the UFC where the shit is handed off.
And still.
I'm bolting that on the wall.
You should bolt it on the wall. And if
we're grateful for everything, and it's funny. The big impact that the awards have on us, I think, is motivating us even more. If we needed any more motivation to repeat. That's the thing. It's like, damn, that bell, like, oh, that's cool. That hits home. We're very grateful for that. Now, like, damn, I want that again.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna change the fucking world in 2020, as you say, Ryan, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed.
It's guaranteed.
Put the industry on notice.
There's a lot of awards out there, a lot of which, if I'm speaking candidly, in Dan's previous life, he's been privy to a little bit more of this than I have.
Right.
I don't give a fuck about any of them.
Yep.
Okay. This one's cool because it's kind of like street cred.
Yeah.
You guys are real. I feel like the fans resonate with you guys a little bit differently than maybe some of the other websites and stuff in the space. This one's cool. This one's personal. I like this. This is cool.
And the fans can expect replica titles at ghostlifestyle.com.
I like that.
At any time now. You told me we're getting little like finger belts or something, so I fully expect 2020. And the
finger belt. What about one of those tech decks?
Finger boards. Those are sweet.
Fitness Informant tech deck.
Let's do it. All right, guys. Let's go. Let's go drink.
Cool.
All right, guys and girls, we hope you enjoyed the insider information. Dan and Ryan over at Ghost, they have a big 2020 plan. They could potentially repeat as brand of the year. We are privy to a lot of information that was not shown on the podcast, and I can say this confidently. When Ryan Hughes says they're going to change the fucking world, I don't know if I'd go that far, but they're going to make an impact again in 2020. It's going to be hard-pressed to find another brand that's going to give them a run for their money, although I know there are some brands out there who are willing to step up to the challenge and definitely want to do that. Aaron Singerman. So it'll be very, very good this year in 2020, another neck-and-neck competition. I bet this whole fucking business on it. I bet this whole business that it's going to be neck-and-neck here in 2020. Next week, Regan Grimes, he's with Primeval Labs. He's also making his way, hopefully, back to the Olympia. He has a couple qualifying shows coming up here in 2020. Right now, as of this podcast in the standings, he's got 8 points. He wins or places second in one of these other shows where he does Toronto. I know he's doing Chicago. We'll be seeing him on the Olympia stage again for the second time, I believe, in his life, but this time in the Open Series, not in Classic Physique. So, again, you like the podcast, hit that subscribe button, whether it's on iTunes, Spotify, over at YouTube. Follow us on all of our social media channels. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and we have a TikTok channel, but I haven't really posted a lot there yet. But maybe if it picks up a little more, we will post it. So, until next week, I'm yours truly. Appreciate you guys tuning in, downloading, whatever it is. Hang loose. Let's fucking go.